Joel Pham was a fourth grader in Mr. Rolnick's class at Park Elementary School. Joel's parents reliably attended conferences and returned permission slips, but that is the extent of their involvement. Joel's mother, Mrs. Pham, worked at QuickPrint, a company known for encouraging its employees to do community service. It even offered to pay its employees to volunteer during a designated workdays. Other employees volunteered at the school. Mr. Rolnick sent home letters with opportunities for parents to do in the school and outside of the school to be involved. Joel's parents never responded. At conferences, they always declined the opportunities. Mr. Rolnick believed that family involvement is crucial to student success. He provided opportunities for the parents and guardians to volunteer during and after school. The school prides itself on family volunteerism. Mr. Rolnick was sensitive to the families with multiple jobs. Mr. Rolnick knew the family is in walking distance to the school, did not have limitations that he was aware of. Joel and his family were ethnically Vietnamese, but Mr. and Miss Pham were raised in the U.S. in the same school district that Joel is attending now. Weeks later, Joel wanted to work with a partner for the science fair. Mr. Rolnick said he needed to speak to both parents first. He called Mr. Pham and said the boys, a parent from each family, the teacher, needed to get together and plan equal responsibilities for the project. Mr. Rolnick said his schedule was flexible, and Mr. Pham said he would speak with Joel at home and send in their plan. Mr. Rolnick felt that Joel's parents could not bother to come into the school yet again. He talked to a coworker, Miss Smith, who had taught at the school for more than 20 years. He explained the situation to her. She responded with, "I don't want to speak for them, but I do encourage you to think about the reasons why they might not want to spend time in school. I remember Joel's parents attended a school where there were very few Vietnamese families in the area. Schools didn't provide a welcoming environment, though we tried. I am sure they were happy to move on. Some teachers never seemed very interested in them. Perhaps that had something to do with their reluctance." "I am not one of those teachers," Mr. Rolnick said, a little bit offended that he was grouped together with teachers from a couple decades ago who may have been biased.
Things that are real or worth knowing in this case study are the background of the family, the teacher trying to communicate with them, the students' interests, likes, and dislikes, how the parents will have different backgrounds and different levels of wanting to not wanting to help the schools, how there are things going on in people's lives that we will know nothing about, different cultures, and that the parents didn't have the best experience in school. Effective learning in this case study is to keep trying, making sure to be respectful, how some parents have different views and different backgrounds with schools and they may not want to help, showing that the teacher also makes mistakes, and finding out what the parents like to help with or do or what they are interested in to help the classroom. Good teaching in this case study is caring about the student, reaching out to the parents in another way and telling them about yourself, focusing on the students, and incorporating different cultures into the classroom. In this case study, people are trying to communicate, trying to get parents active in school. The teacher is trying to figure out why the parents are not involved, and staying away from the school since it is not the best experience growing up. The relationships in this case study are parent and teacher, community member to community member, student and teacher to teacher. The relationships are organized by the community and the school influencing each other. The school tries to work on creating great community members. The community wants the best for the school because that is who will be running the community one day.
There were many problems throughout this case study that we noticed, the first one being that the teacher never considered why the parents were not volunteering, but he only focused on the fact that they weren't. Another problem was that the teacher didn't try to find out more about the Vietnamese culture and try to relate to that, which is super important incorporating culture into the classroom. Also, The parents had their own reasons why they didn't want to participate, but they didn't know how to convey the message to the teacher, which caused a lot of confusion between both sides. Also, the parents and teacher had a difficult time communicating back and forth through each other. Not only that, but the student was also unaware of the tension between the parents and the teacher. In conclusion, there are several things that can be done to help improve the relationship between the parents and the teachers in this sort of setting. First of all, the teacher should not take it so personally and get offended that the parents lumped him into that group of biased teachers, and try to instead find a way to compromise with the parents and maybe reach out to them to show them that they are trying to learn more about their culture and respect their culture, and find baby steps for them to volunteer into the classroom after that. Another thing that could be done is the teacher could make a phone call to reach out to the parents. When on this phone call, the teacher could talk about the project that could suggest a meeting place in the community to discuss the certain project with the parents. The meeting that the parents and the teacher would be having could be located at a safe environment that they feel free to talk in, and then they could also bring up the topic of incorporating the parents more into the classroom and incorporating the culture of their family into the classroom as well. The parents could then come into the classroom on a given date and time to share or teach the students about their culture with the class. After the parents shared about their culture, the teacher can incorporate a lesson about the importance of learning about different cultures and how to be more accepting of one another as well.
I'm somewhere on a mountaintop, but never think behind bars. You'd be amazed the places that I go to be with you, where you are. So forget what you've heard, what you think that you know. There's a lot about me that's never been told. I'm more than you dream, more than you understand. Your days and your times, we're destined for our dance. I catch all your tears, burn your name on my heart. Be still and trust my plan. I'm more than you think I am. Oh, more than you think I am. Oh. Rumor has it there's a gavel in my hand. I'm